Hello everyone. Today we'll be seeing that how to use Chessbase17 as a software, because you see there are many uh, beginners in chess who aspire to become a bit professional in the same stream, and for that, like, you may have heard of a number of different apps, like you may be doing analysis right now on a number of different softwares, but Chessbase17 is a software that is used by most of the professional grandmasters and IMs. So we'll be seeing the basics of Chessbase 17 today, that how to use that software. So let me just quickly open Chessbase 17 reader. You can download it from the official website, and if you are unable to find it, in that case you can simply Google Chessbase Reader 2017 download. The very first link will redirect to the simple download link. Okay, so today I'll be telling you about two basic different things which you can do in Chessbase 17. Of course, you can do a different number of things, but if you start seeing all the features on the very first day, in that case you may likely have a disinclination from Chessbase 17. So for that, I will only tell you two ways in which you can use Chessbase 17 as a beginner. The very first one being analyzing previously completed games. Like suppose you have a PGN downloaded of a game. Those who are not familiar with PGN files are basically those raw files that contain the entire data of any chess match which has happened in the past. It is in a certain format, like it will denote that white piece belongs to which player name and black piece belongs to which player name, and what was the result, how it ended, how it terminated, whether it was a checkmate, whether it was a draw. So a PGN file is basically a standard chess file that tells you about any previously recorded game. So the very first way in which you can use Chessbase 17 is to analyze previously recorded games, and for any previously recorded game, whether you play it on VChess, whether you play it on chess.com, these all platforms will give you a method to download PGN files. Even most of you would be playing on FIDE Online Arena. Those of you who are not knowing about this is a very brilliant platform to play a good level of chess, because first thing, the UI is very attractive to play with, and secondly, the players that register on FIDE Online Arena, they don't make like simple and silly blunders. They are like slightly better than those you would find on other platforms, because FIDE Online Arena is a website through which you can become a professional IM, and you can have that journey. Of course, you'll have to pay the membership fee, but it is the official site of FIDE, so you will get good tactical players over there. Okay, so I was saying that wherever you play, all these platforms will give you a PGN file to download, and even you may wish to analyze different games of grandmasters, like maybe the recent Caruana and Pragnananda encounter. So you will get the PGN files of those standard games as well, which has previously been played. So right now, the first way, analyzing previously recorded games through PGN files on Chessbase 17. So let's see how to do that. First of all, you'll go to open here. This is the very first screen that you will see. Then you open Chessbase 2017 reader. You have to click on open, and it will ask you to enter a PGN file. So as you can see, I have downloaded a file on my desktop. So okay, it will show you like this. It will show you the result, and then you can click here, and then it will take you to the board. Just a minute. Okay. You have to click on the right page, and then it will take you to the board. Now let me just quickly give you a glance over this top bar. So first of all, through file you can like print maybe a game in PDF format, something like that. You can open a new game, or you can open a new board. In new board, it will take you to a random board, and in that you can play the random positions and see who is better. So this is file. Then next, this is the home. Here you'll find most of the features. Okay, let's come to home at last. Let's go to board. In board, you can enable different things like how the squares look, how the pieces look, What is the background? Okay, you can select a marble-like background like it is here or here, and then you can enable the board sounds, something like that. You can auto promote here if you are playing on a random board and not analyzing the previous game. In that case, if the pawn is on 7th square, in that case it will auto promote. It will not ask you for any prompt. So this is you can flip board like switching the sides, black coming to white's place and white goes to black's place. Then training. Okay, in training it will basically tell you. Okay, we'll see we'll broadly see home and training at the end, because in the first way that we are going to see how to use Chessbase17, these two things, home and training, will be intensively used. Then next is view. In view you can go to full screen, or you can select some standard layouts. Now let me tell you what layouts are. Chessbase17 allows you several things to have on screen at once. Like, first of all, it will give you a board for show, which you can see right now. Second, the engine analysis, you can have a tab for that. Thirdly, the different openings or the previous games or what lines were played previously, tab related to that. So you can see some standard layouts, like this is one layout in which different moves are there, and engine analysis I think not there right now. Then you can go to board only view. I think this we were previously on this one. Then you can go to big engine. In that it will give you something like this. It will show you a virtual board here. This is the engine analysis, and the thing you are seeing here 0.16. This shows you who is winning at any point. The Fritz, this is the engine name. By default, Chessbase17 uses Fritz engine, but you can select Stockfish 15 if you have downloaded. Okay, so this is the engine analysis for those who are aware of this. If it is +1, that means white is winning. If it is -1, that means black has already won. If it is +1, white has already won. And if it is near to +1, okay, that means white is better, something like 0.8, 0.9, something like that. So basically, the more it is in positive, it is not +1, -1. Basically, if it is in positive, that means white is winning, and if it is in negative, that means black is winning. That's it. Okay. So you can see in starting, any engine gives white a slight advantage. That means if an ideal game is played between two of the most perfect engines, then hypothetically white would win. That is an ideal situation, or a hypothetical situation maybe, because that is not practical. Because no one plays perfect. There is no such thing as perfect playing chess anyways, because there are infinite possibilities. So okay, right now we were on view, I guess, and suppose you have changed board's layout, or you have changed the color and you are unable to reset the color back to where it was. So you can go to factory settings and restore all the settings from here. Okay, so it will reset the settings like this. Okay, now let me just so I think you have got the basic idea of the top bar, and now two things are left, home and training, and that we'll see when we start using the first method through Chessbase17. So let's quickly start this. First of all, let me select my view in this. So I will go to, first of all, home. Now in the first method, whenever you are analyzing any past game through Chessbase17, in that you have to add an engine analysis or an engine. Now an engine in Chessbase17 is called as Kibitzer. So you have to add a Kibitzer for engine analysis. Okay, for analyzing past games, okay, for the engine analysis of past games, you have to add something called Kibitzer in Chessbase17. Okay, Kibitzer is basically an engine whenever you use Chessbase software. So let me just go to add Kibitzer, and I will add here Stockfish 15. Okay, so it is added here. Now let me just readjust the layout so that the board becomes more visible. I think this is good. By the way, in this match I was obviously on my left line, and my opponent was someone from Bangladesh, I guess, Shamim Chaudhary. Okay. Okay, so now we have to analyze this through the engine analysis. So, okay, let me see. Okay, cool. So we have only used one feature of Chrome right now, that is add pivot. That is mainly used for analyzing previous games. Okay. So now whenever you select your arrow key, it will show you the game. Now this was the game played. Now you will see some arrows coming through. Okay. So what are these arrows? Now suppose in this move, white has to play. Okay. So these arrows basically tell you that white has to make a move based on the threat being shown through arrow. That means white has to choose a move right now, assuming that black will play knight to f6 in the next move. Okay, so we will have to counterplay something like that. Okay, it is basically used in like middle game or end game where there are threats created. Okay, so white and black has to move a move, has to make a move depending on opponent's next move. Okay, so this is now how to analyze good and bad moves, whether in previous game, whether it was a blunder, whether it was a good move. So what was that? So basically you can see one way is this thing that like white has to play a move assuming that black will play knight to f6. So white plays this, but does black play knight to f6? No, he does not. So he played this, I guess. Okay. Okay, so arrows are basically simply the threads being created. Okay, like what move can be played. Okay, so you can even turn off arrows through. You can go to. Okay, you can see here calculate threat and display it with an arrow. So basically, like if I don't know why it is showing here right now, but basically the thing with arrow is that if white has to make a move at this moment, then the arrow will be shown with black. That means it will show the threat, what black is threatening right now. So white has to make a move according to that threat to counter play that threat. Okay, suppose black is to move, then it will show an arrow on white piece, so that black has to make a move assuming what threat white can give in the next move. Okay, so basically threats, these arrows only depict threats and not good moves and bad moves. For good moves and bad moves, you can disable this thing, threat as arrow. Okay, and you can disable this thing for right now. And for good and bad moves, you can focus on this dot being shown here and the color of the dot. So let's see, white plays pawn to d4 and it shows a good move because it is in green color. Black brings bishop. Now you can see this is an inaccuracy as it is blue color. If it is a blunder, it will show red in color. Okay. See, this is a blunder and I'll tell you why. Because after pawn to a3, there is simply no square left for the knight. That is what I played, and he had simply no protection here. So I took, and it was, you can see, a good move because it captures the free knight. Okay. So this is the basic thing. It will show you the analysis here. Okay. Okay, I said something earlier. Just don't be confused with that. That if black has 1, it will show -1. If white has 1, it will show +1. So basically, it will not. If white has already 1, or it is something like mate in 5, mate in 6. Okay. So it will show. It won't show +1. Okay. +1 is basically for like +1, +2, +3. They are basically for telling that who is winning right now. And basically, if it is +1, that means white is a pawn ahead. If it is -1, that means black is a pawn ahead, because all these pieces, chess pieces, have certain points related to them. So pawn's point or pawn's score is +1. Okay. Bishop and knight, they have +3. Queen has +9 and rook has +5. So basically, if it is +3 or +4 right now, that means white is a bishop or a knight and a pawn ahead. Okay, 3 + 1. I had captured a knight. Okay, so it was +3, and tactically or positionally there may be a position right now here that I may be a pawn ahead. Okay, so in some positions you may see that materially, like with respect to the number of pieces of black and white, materially black and white are equal, but still it shows something like +2 +3. That means the position is in such favor of white that later on in the game, as the game develops, white will for sure take 2 pawns or get 2 pawns ahead. It is something like that. Okay, so it may not always relate to the materials that okay, if it is +3 that means white is a knight ahead, if it is -5 that means black is a rook ahead. So that is not sure. It is something related to position as well. But like in broader terms, it is related to the material advantage or the pieces advantage. Okay, so right now you can see +4, that means white is clearly a pawn and a knight ahead. Okay. So this was the game as it goes. I try to pin the knight. I think I should not have taken here because the queen develops, and that's why it's showing a little inaccuracy with yellow color here. So queen takes and is developed, but my queen is not developed, so definitely it was no doubt an inaccurate move. Okay, so somehow I invaded his territory very badly, because now if he pushes pawn to c6, then after pawn takes pawn, and bishop takes pawn, his rook will be gone. That means I would have forked his king and his rook. So he did the same thing, and you can clearly see it's an inaccuracy. I take with the pawn. Now if he took with the pawn, in that case it would have been a blunder. Okay, if he did that. Okay, so but he did not, so he simply castled and gave off the pawn. Now I would have taken this pawn, but after that his bishop would have developed, which I didn't want. So I simply played pawn to c7 with two ideas. The first idea being like attacking on the b8 and d8 squares, okay, and keeping the idea of queening intact later at some point in the game. So these were my two main ideas of playing pawn to c7. Okay. Now when he played this move, I was one thing sure, that he was wishing for later at some point he was wishing for pawn to b6 to attack my pawn on c7. Okay, he was wishing to push his pawn to b6 so as to attack my c7 pawn with his rook, and that thing was a blessing for me. So I invited that thing, because once he takes my pawn with his rook, after that with my knight to d5, I would have forked his queen and his rook. But for that to play, I would have to protect my queen first from the discovered bishop attack. So I played queen to e3, and he again attacked. And now simply because since it was a dark colored bishop, so I brought my queen to white square. And he's going for the same. And I simply invited it by not making anything, not making a single move on the left side, or you can say queen side. Okay, sorry, queen side. So I simply castled, and he took, and I folded. Saved the queen, I took the rook. Okay, so clearly I am quite ahead, with +5 being in my favor. And this was the game as it happened later. Since there is a basic principle in chess that whenever someone is ahead materially or positionally, materially I would say whenever someone is materially ahead, something like +4, +5, +6, okay, he should try to trade off material, because the more simplified the game will be, the better his advantage would be. So it is a simple principle that if you are ahead in material, you should trade pieces, and if you are down in material, you should avoid trading pieces, and that's what he did. So he saved the queen, and I pinned the bishop, because once the bishop moves, that's not much of a threat. But let's see what I was trying to do. Okay, he attacked the queen. Fine. Took the rook with a check. Takes the rook back, and I came here. Now, this was a very bad move if he was trying to protect his queen and not trade it, because after queen to e8, that's what I did. There was simply no way to prevent trade-off, because you can see I gave a check, and if he saved his king simply and not take my queen, in that case I would take his queen. He took, I took, and now this is clearly better for me. And you can see this move. It was a okay, it shows a green symbol, right? So it's a good move. There is no inaccuracies involved there. I think it's the best move there. Cool. Now this endgame was quite beautiful. What my idea was to bring the rook on e5. It was to take the pawn on d5 with the bishop and then take back the trade off bishops. But he didn't want it. Fine. Now my only fear right now was his pawn's queening, and if he would take the bishop at this point, then I think there was simply no way for him to do queening, because with my rook I would have simply attacked it. So he avoided to trade the bishops, and instead he kept on pushing his pawns. Okay. Right now I put my pawn on a dark square, so right for the time being it is quite safe there, because the bishop cannot attack it. Now for the rook, this position is very bit uncomfortable, because the e3 square is attacked. The f3 square is also attacked with the bishop. So there is very little squares left. Okay, and with this the rook gets in even worse position. Okay, so what I tried to do here was that if he takes my bishop, then after pawn takes bishop, there was simply no way to protect his d4 pawn. Okay, so he thought that since my rook is blocked, so if instead of taking the bishop I simply move my pawn to d3 from d4, my chances of winning would for sure be 100%. He thought, but he was quite wrong, because after bishop to a4 there was simply no way to protect this pawn. So this was simply a lost endgame, and it was quite simple, and he resigned at this point. As you can obviously see, I was about to quit. Okay, so this was the first way, analyzing previous games through Chessbase17 software, and the second way is the second way which you should know how to use Chessbase17 is opening a new chessboard, and in that making random moves as you want. Like it may be because you are watching a live game and you want to make the pieces move as they're moving, as the players are moving right now in the live position. So you may want something like that, live analysis. So for that you have to have a chessboard in which you can make the moves from both the sides, from black sides as well and from white's side as well. So for that we'll go to board and we'll go to, okay, there is no option of new board. Let's see where it is. Okay, we'll go to new, and this is it. Okay, I think we have enabled the board sound, so it sounds very good. Yeah, so you can track the pieces here. If you try to click, okay, it will move in certain direction, like it will move at the best square. Okay, so avoid clicking it simply, like you may do on chess and chess.com. Try to drag it. Okay, there may be a setting you can view later, but I'm telling just the basics. So you first of all, without kibitzer or without engine, any board position is useless in Chessbase17. First you have to add a kibitzer. Okay, let's add Fritz this time. I don't know why this gives a horrible layout like this. Who wants such a layout? Board such small and engine such weird, right? Okay, so this is the Fritz engine, and you may start moving like this. You can hear the sounds now. Okay, quite beautiful sounds. Why it's not moving? Some problem here, I guess. Oh, sorry. Okay. Good. And you can see the analysis as before. Okay, so you can play live positions here. Okay. Okay. So let's end this here. Good. These are the two ways in which you can use Chessbase17 for the basics part. And when you will learn these two things, then by using all the features involved in these two ways, you will be able to explore further the Chessbase17 software, because it will create much interest in you, that you will start seeing the different other things that are not frequently used, but what other features they give. Okay, so you will start exploring them by yourselves, because Chessbase17 is such a big software that if someone makes a YouTube video on that, it would like even 2 hours or 3 hours would be less for it. You know, the manual that you will see when you will go to download Chessbase17 software, the manual, you know, for using any software, the ideal manual would be of like maybe 20 pages or 30 pages if it is a big software, and if it is a small software, maybe 9 or 10 pages. But the Chessbase17 software has a manual which is of over 400 pages, so you can assume what big length this software is and how overly complex this software is. So first you have to know the basics, and after that, depending on your interest in Chessbase17 and chess, you will slowly grab all these things by yourself. Okay, so that was it for this video. Take care.